So hi there everybody, hope all is well. Today we're gonna have a look at two lenses that come from DZOFilm. These are basically a series of lenses. They are the Catta Zooms, which are full frame lenses made for mirrorless cameras. So if you've ever used cinema lenses, you know that cinema zooms in particular are very expensive. Now DZO has many times before made us really happy with making really great lenses for really affordable prices, and this is what they've done again. Now the Catta Zooms come in at around $3,100, and at that price I would say that these are probably your best option when it comes to cinema zooms for full frame cameras. So you might be wondering, why would you go with a cinema zoom instead of a photography zoom? Well, cinema zooms like this are often made to have a few characteristics that are really great for filming. One of them is going to be breathing. Now breathing is something that you have in basically all photography lenses that are made, and what happens there is when you change your focus from one place to another, you will have some kind of change happening in the corners of your video, and that can be very distracting. Another thing that you get with a lens like this is that it is parfocal. So parfocal is a feature that is great to have when filming because it lets you have the focus on the same place while you're zooming. And if you like to zoom in and zoom out on your subject, this is a killer feature and almost a must. And there are very few photography lenses that do have this feature. And this is a feature that is wonderful on the DZO Cattas. Now a third thing that you also get with cinema lenses is that you do get T-stops instead of f-stops. And T-stops are really great because they measure how much light you're actually getting on the sensor, whereas if you're looking at photography lenses, you will always measure how much light is getting into the lens. And even if that's a good thing, most of the time you can have things like reflections and leakage, which won't let all the light go to the sensor. So by measuring the amount of light going to the sensor, you will be able to swap lenses and always have the same exposure in your camera. Now another thing that's very important when it comes to cinema lenses like this is going to be the character of the lens, and this means basically the look of the lens. Now filmmakers don't always want the sharpest lenses, they always look for a characteristic which will make them differentiate themselves from other people, and here we have really nice characteristics. Especially the bokeh from these lenses is beautiful. It's a very smooth and nice looking bokeh, and this is probably my favorite feature with this lens. Now a cool thing with these lenses is that they come in some different mounts. Now I do have the E-mount version here that I've used with the Sony a7S III. It will also come with an RF version. You can also get it in X version for Fuji's, Z version, Z mount for Nikon, and also Leica mount for Panasonic and Leica cameras. So that's a great thing. And changing the mounts is actually quite easy. You have a button here and you just scribble it around and you can change the mount. And this is very practical if you are someone that does have different cameras like I. So right now I'm shooting with the Panasonic S1H, but I also do use the Sony a7S III. So changing mounts is a great thing. Also, another thing with the mounts is that they're actually quite affordable. They come in at $159 plus VAT. So when you get these lenses, you will know that even if you change cameras or change mirrorless systems, you will be able to use your lens with different cameras. Now I've seen on DZO's website that they will be coming out with a PL and an EF version of these lenses, so we're really looking forward to that as well. But if you're looking to the future of cameras, it's going to be mirrorless, so I would invest in a mirrorless version of this lens. Now one smart thing that DZO have done is that they have made these plug-in filters. There you see we have a clear one in the box, and they've said that they will be making different filters, so you will be able to have like a Pro Mist filter or a UV filter, but also of course ND filters for us that have cameras without internal NDs. So that is also a great feature that DZO has said that they will soon be coming out with. One of the lenses, like the first one, is the 35-80mm T2.9. Now, if you're a photographer, you know that a lot of the time you want to have like a 24-70 normal zoom lens, but when it comes to cinema zooms, this is actually quite a normal focal length. If you look at the Ingenue lenses, they will come in similar focal lengths as well. Now, hopefully DZO will make a really wide angle lens that will cover like 16-35 as well in the future, but now we have like the 35-80 and also the 70-135 millimeters. So the build of these lenses is, as all other DZO lenses, very nice and good. It's very sturdy, everything is very smooth where it's supposed to be smooth and very tactile where it's supposed to be tactile, so no complaints there. I'm very happy with it. Also, the look of the lens is probably the thing that I really love the most. I've been shooting with the lens for 2 days and I'm really happy with the results. I didn't even have to chime the lens when I was using it with the Sony a7S III. The parfocalness was there on point, but you do get extra chimes in the box if you need that, so you can change like the millimeters when it comes to the flange distance if you want to, but I didn't have a problem with that, and hopefully you won't either. Something that is really good with these lenses is also the weight. It comes in at just over 1,500 grams, which is actually quite good for this type of lens. These lenses can often get really big. Having that size is actually quite a nice feature, and you can actually use these lenses handhold, which I did a couple of times. Something that you don't really often see in cinema lenses is also it having a 77mm filter. So I actually used it both with filters and without filters because I wanted to see how the lens performed without the filter. But when using filters, I was just using like normal circular polar filters when shooting outside for my tests, and it worked perfectly, and it is something that I really hope all cinema lenses did have, but unfortunately they don't. So my verdict is this is probably going to be both your cheapest and best option if you want cinema zooms for your full frame cameras. If you're shooting on an a7S III, FX6, FX3, FX9, S1, Panasonic S1H. So these are gonna be such a great purchase, and you will be able to use these lenses for a long time. Now, when it comes to sharpness, these lenses are actually not made to have like the perfect sharpness, but I would say that I was more than happy with the sharpness on these lenses, and I would say that when using it with the Sony a7S III, the sharpness of the lens wasn't at least a problem, and it resolved more than this sensor actually can resolve. So I would say the sharpness is actually very nice. I would of course want to use it with like an 8K camera just to really see if the tack sharpness is there, but it's more sharp than I would want it to be honest. I like lenses that aren't like tack sharp as photography lenses, so when it comes to sharpness, it has like that cinematic sweet spot that I really enjoy. So guys, if you have any questions for me about the Catta Zooms, feel free to leave them in comments, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Until the next time, see you soon, and bye bye.